Hey, what is going on, guys? It is your good friend Matt, and we are back again here today at the only place that we always can be. And as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. Guys, today a new episode of Casual Conversation, and we are talking about some things that we didn't even expect. As you can already tell from the title, we're going to be talking today about scammers, scamming the online stuff, stores, business, buying and selling, all of that stuff, and kind of a little bit of the ins and outs of the third party selling, the online selling, the eBays, MERCARIs, stuff like that. We're also going to be talking about the fact that we are not moving. In the last video I gave you guys, I had said to you all, I said, it's going to be a little tough for me to keep making videos over this next couple of weeks because we were intending on moving and getting out of here and into a new place. And after we had probably about maybe a little over half the room packed up, I found out that we were actually not moving. So we are still in the process of figuring some things out from there. But today, we are back at the only place that we always can be. And who knows? Maybe this will be the only place we always can be. Who really knows, right? The future has so much in store for all of us. And I think that is kind of one of those things where you just never know what tomorrow brings. And also know that tomorrow is never promised. So if you guys have somebody out there that you care about, anybody in your life that you need to say hello to, you might even want to give a little shout out to, a little love to, make sure you do that, because you just never know what tomorrow is going to bring, and you never know what's going to happen in life. So, but with that, guys, I am back, and we are ready to jumpstart again and kickstart back into what has always been the episodes of Casual Conversation, new figure pickups. We're going to have a bunch of stuff coming up. But today, guys, just to kind of be quick in the whole not moving thing, just to give you guys all a little update. So over the past couple of weeks, or a little bit over maybe a week and a half, so something about that, 2 weeks, somewhere in that time frame, we have reset up most of the rooms. So like I said, a little over half was already taken down, packaged up, boxed away. I mean, there was a lot of stuff to do in here, and you don't realize how big your collection really is until you actually have to move it all. So a big shout out to anybody who has already been through that. You know exactly what I'm talking about. This is not the first time that I would have been moving, so I know all about that. And to the ones that have not yet, always be prepared. Do not wait till the last second, because it is always a lot tougher than you expect it to be. You think taking it down and putting it away is just a simple thing, but sometimes it is not that simple. So with all of that, guys, we are locked and loaded. We got a drink handy here just in case we start getting into that moment where you start to lose your words, you start to lose your voice. So got a drink handy here. We are ready to start off another episode of Matt's Wrestling Collectibles Casual Conversations. I don't even know. I think this might be episode 7 or 8. We're somewhere around there. But today, guys, we're going to be talking about scammers. We're going to be talking about these online groups. We're going to be talking about third-party selling. We're going to be just kind of really discussing a little bit of what goes on, the ins and outs. Something that I've been doing a long time. Some of you guys that are watching this may have been doing it just as long, if not longer. You've also got a few people out there, I'm sure, that are just starting on this. So maybe some advice, some tips, a little bit of guidance into getting into the whole buying and selling. And also, as well, we are going to be speaking to a whole group of people who don't even do that. Maybe some people that just collect and don't even have the slightest thought in doing a aftermarket, or not aftermarket, but third party selling. And I guess you could still call it aftermarket in a way. I mean, it's the third party market. It is the the inflated market at that. But we've all been on both sides of it, especially when you are selling. Sometimes I am able to get figures that everybody wants, and we make, a good profit on them, and it's fair to everybody, and everybody's happy. And there has been times where I've had to, dish out and shell out a little extra cash, more than I would like to acquire a figure. But I think that is something that we've all done. So let's break it down, though. Let's get right into this. We're going to start talking about it and kind of even giving you guys my own background of all these years that I've been doing. The flea markets, toy and collectible shows, the online selling, just a little bit of everything. It all kind of all folds into one, and some of them are easier than others. Some of the aspects are much nicer than others, but we're going to break that all down in this video. So as we get into this, if you guys haven't already, check out that channel when we're all done here. We're going to want to make sure you get over there and subscribe, as well as share this video, give it a like, give it a thumbs up, and be sure to comment in this when we're all said and done. We'll have a question towards the end, and we'll be sure to ask you guys what you all think, and we'll get your comments in the comment section below. So, guys, without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. So, as you all know, Matt's Wrestling Collectibles has been around for quite some time. I started back in, 2007, 2008. 2008 is the official start of it all. That's where I mark the start of Matt's Wrestling Collectibles. But, times have changed a lot since then. The computers and just online selling, all this, aftermarket or third-party retail. A lot of that stuff has changed so much because back in 2008, 2009, even 2010, throughout the late 2000s, and even coming into the early 2000 teens, things were just much different. You had a whole different aspect of buyers out there, and a lot of people were still doing, face-to-face transactions, a lot of cash transactions, something that I had done for quite some time, especially with the flea markets. Even back then, not a lot of people were doing anything such as Cash App or Venmo, or a lot of those services probably hadn't even been invented yet. So with that being said, things were a lot easier. You always did a cash transaction. People knew, like, hey, all sales are final. It's done and over with. You're happy. You've got your item. You see it in front of you. It's your chance to either decide that you do or don't want it, and you're out the door, and we're on to the next one, right? So now we've come into a market of, it is literally a scammer's market. I know you guys have probably heard, or maybe if you haven't, the phrase, the term, the saying of that it is a buyer's market. And a lot of times that has to do with, buying real estate, houses, property. But when it comes down to this type of stuff and any type of aftermarket, third party buying and selling, you really are in what is at sometimes a seller's market, and at other times it is a buyer's market. So when I say that, it's really turned into a scammer's market, unfortunately, the reason being is there are so many people creating fake accounts. And obviously, as you guys already know, you can get over to Facebook. We have Matt's Wrestling Collectibles. I have the main page, which is more so just a business page that I post some stuff on, sales on, things that we're doing, like little heads up things and whatnot. And then we have the Matt's Wrestling Collectibles group page, which is where everybody gets to interact. You can buy, sell, trade, whatever you'd like on there. Share your collections, ask questions. Anything. It's a community, and that is what I strive for it to be. So it is a tough thing when you see so many people that are just trying to get into these markets, into these pages, into these groups, and all their goal is to scam. They are trying to sell you anything that you want that they don't even have. They don't possess it. They don't own it. They don't physically have it. We have tried to maintain this page as heavily as I can, and I always say to people, if you see something, say something, because you never know if somebody else might be maybe in possible danger. Somebody might be losing money. Somebody might be getting scammed right in front of your face. So always say something if you feel something isn't right. And there's always ways to go about it that don't have to be, extreme to one degree or the other. You can always comment on a post and say, hey, and maybe tag the person that's interested in said item. And you could say, hey, just make sure you get coined photos, which a coined photo, for anybody who doesn't understand that, it is a picture of what you're selling with maybe a piece of paper. It'll say your name. It'll say the date. You can maybe put whatever else on there that you want if there's something else that maybe needs to be included. But that is basically what a coined photo is, and it allows the people that are buying to know that you actually have the item. I'm not saying that means that you are no longer a scammer. There are plenty of people out there that have purchased items, and now they have one item that's worth, let's just say, a figure that's going for $60, $70, $80, and you're buying it at $22.99, $23.99, $25 after taxes all said and done. Well, now you've got somebody out there who's saying, oh, I've got this figure for sale, and they're taking money over and over and over again, and they're not sending the item out. And unfortunately, I have seen that happen before. Back when the original Solo Sikoa was coming out, being released, the original first Elite of him, I saw I think it was actually a girl fake account, obviously, so not even, who knows, girl, guy, whatever, probably actually a guy. And he had posted about the Solo Sikoa. I think he went out and bought 3 of them or 4 of them. And who's to say that he didn't keep them, actually sell some of them, maybe returned a few of them after he was done, just wanted to show that he had them in his house. Coined photo. And as far as I understand, everybody was paying for these $45, $50 a piece, maybe even, roughly about, $50 with shipping or without shipping. And a lot of people weren't receiving their items. So before you know it, it's a week and a half later. And now this guy has probably taken 15, 20 people at the minimum 15 of 20 people maybe that he has scammed. So it is now somebody who, again, you take $50, you times it by 15. It's a nice little chunk of change for somebody who has nothing better to do than sit on a computer all day and make a fake account or keep up with fake accounts. That's the other thing too. I mean, when you're talking about these people, this is what they do all day, guys. It's not like they're going to a 9 to 5 and then scamming people for a wrestling figure, because majority of them probably aren't doing that. Their goal and their everyday livelihood, unfortunately, is to take from yours. And so just be very careful. Do your bring it back, right? Do your due diligence and make sure that you are checking people's profiles. I went onto a profile the other day. It looked very, very good. Person did a great job on it, but as I started scrolling through photos and scrolling through pictures, this person went from living in America to living probably somewhere, it looked like maybe France, Paris, France, whatever. So, the original person's profile was still within the fake profile. It's the dumbest thing, guys, but sometimes people think if they push something far enough ahead, people won't look back that far. So when I do approve people on the Matt's Wrestling Collectibles group page on Facebook, I'm always scanning profiles. So if I go to your profile, I click view profile, 2 things that will instantly get you declined and blocked. If I open your profile and it says you have a locked profile, you will not be allowed in the page. If I go to open your profile and you get the little wrench with the gear and it says, sorry, something went wrong, well, that means the person blocked me, which means they went right into the page, found the admin list, blocked me, and then try to get added to the group page. And the purpose behind that, again, is that they will expect to get away with something and not be seen. However, I don't know if people do realize this, and maybe if anybody out there is actually a scammer and they are listening to this video, they might think twice moving forward. If I am the admin of Matt's Wrestling Collectibles and you block me and get added to the page and then you make a post or you comment on something, I can see it. I can physically see it. It is not hidden. It is not a secret. I physically see it. So I don't know what anybody does not know about that, but if you don't know, now you know. Shout out to Biggie Smalls, right? So anyway, though, point being, guys, right, you already know how it is. You have to make sure that you are doing your paperwork, your homework. Check on these people, because all they're trying to do is take your money. And like I said, they're going to do it in any way, shape, or form. They're trying to take it, whether it's cash, a check. They don't care how you're sending it to them. As long as they get that money and it clears and it goes in their account, they do not care how they get it. They're just trying to get you to pay them. So you got to be careful with this stuff. And also, too, when it comes down to scammers, also, be careful with trades, guys. I see a lot of times people are sitting there talking about, oh, I sent out an item for a trade and then the other person never sent their item. I am very different in trades. And of course, again, guys, we're talking a much different aspect here. I am somebody who has a page that has 3,000 people on it. I've been doing this for a very long time. Some people have remembered me from as far back as those flea market days. And, some people are just meeting me as recently as today, yesterday, whatever, you know what I mean? So my reputation with some precedes others because they know who I am. They know that they can trust me. They know that they're going to get everything that they're supposed to get. There's going to be no question about it. There's going to be no issues. There is going to be no debating on whether or not they are going to receive what they paid for. So with that being said, when trades start to happen, I feel as though it should be a very simple thing. The person that has the better reputation, the person that is more well known, the person that has done more in this community, in these groups or whatever, should be able to ship last. The person who has the least credibility in the situation, and not to say that that means that they have no credibility, just saying that if somebody has made 1,000 sales and they're trusted everywhere, and somebody else has made 100 sales, and even if they were trusted everywhere, the person with the 100 sales should send their half of the trade to the person with 1,000 sales first. The person with the 1,000 sales should receive that item, say, yup, it's great, everything's fine, my item's going out, now you get yours. I think that's as simple as it should be ever be. And that's why if somebody ever asks me to do something like that, unfortunately, because of the page and how much I really do have riding on it, because at the end of the day, guys, I mean, you think about it, if one little slip up happened with me, if there was a situation where something like this was occurring, I would literally be losing everything all at once. There would be no saving the page. There would be no saving the reputation. You know, things like that happen. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. Everybody's always going to have that one bad review. Somebody's not going to be happy. It is what it is. You can't please everybody, and I should know that. 260 reviews on my MERCARI page, and every one of them is a 5-star except for one. And the one-star review is somebody who doesn't realize that they're buying from a third-party store. They are not buying from Walmart. There is not just a return policy. You don't just get to return something because it's not working out for you. And by that, let me explain a very quick story here because I don't want anybody to get confused. If anybody does not remember this, but some of you definitely will, Classic Superstars, way back in the day, they did a ticket promotion. It was WrestleMania tickets. You collected all the tickets, you sent them in, you got an exclusive American-made Hulk Hogan action figure. So to make a very long story short, the guy had purchased purchased one of the tickets from me. I had 2 of those tickets for sale. He purchased one. And he purchased the other 20 or 21, 22, however many tickets were in the set. He purchased the remainder from somebody else. So, to make it simple, he purchased, I believe it was 22 tickets in the set. So he purchased 21 tickets from somebody else. WrestleMania 1 through 21. And WrestleMania 22 was the ticket that I had that he needed. So, apparently, the other person he purchased from canceled the order, said, I can't fulfill it, I can't send it to you. I had already sent mine to him. So he then says to me, well, the other guy told me that I can't get the stuff because he doesn't have it or it's not available. So I need to send this back to you because now I can't complete the set. Well, that's not warranting an issue for a refund. And I think a lot of you would understand that and would agree. And the reason why I also do that is because of this. If an item gets sent back to me and now it's damaged, now I have to go through MERCARI. Now I have to figure out what's going to happen, how I'm going to, get reimbursed something because, you purchased an item, you know exactly what you're purchasing. It got shipped from me to you. You got it. It was in perfect condition. There's nothing wrong with it. And your reason for return has nothing to do with the item. There is nothing wrong with the item. There is no issue with the item. Your issue is with somebody else and another seller. So again, it's a tough one. It's a tough one, guys. You know what I mean? Because there's a part of me that did want to just take it back because I'm like, well, part of me says that that's the way that I should do it and just take it back and just say, hey, whatever. But again, taking the item back, now if we have a problem, it's just something I didn't want to deal with. So, needless to say, I got a 1-star review, and also, too, it's a big fault on MERCARI. MERCARI says, hey, Matt, this person wants to return this item. Explain to us why you don't want to return it. I explain the reason. MERCARI then says, Matt, you know what? You're right. You're right. We're siding with you. We're going to make that person keep the item, but hey, we're going to give them the option to still review you at 1 star. No. MERCARI should do this. Somebody wants to return an item, you dispute it. It should go one of 2 ways. Either the seller is correct, MERCARI deems the seller correct automatically, 5-star review, it's locked out. They don't have no choice. Or they deem that the person with the item is correct. The item then gets returned to me, and that is that. There is nothing else to be done. However, that is a very big fault on MERCARI's part, and it is unfortunate that, even though my review does look perfect, if you look at my, my 5 stars, but that 1-star review is still in there, so it's very unfortunate. But either way, not that I am saying that that is a scammer, but you also have to look out for people like that because, again, you're selling third party. You never know what somebody's going to do. And if they're trying to return something, you really got to know what your return policies are and how the sites or wherever you're operating from, how they work, what are their rules. So always check that out and make sure you stay on top of that because things like that change very often. So on top of all of that, on top of, the fact that scammers are invading every little thing, we also have another thing that is very common, and I think that everybody should know, is that when you see these people that have double names, Joseph James, Jimmy Harold, you get, just whatever it might be. It's like Chris Brandon. If it's a double first name, chances are it is somebody who doesn't know how names actually work. They are probably a scammer. They probably don't even live anywhere around here, and they are trying to figure out how to do that. And of course, every culture is different. So, if you were scamming somebody and you're from France, or you're from Africa, or you're from, China, or you're from the US, everybody's going to go about it differently because they're going to approach it in whatever way that they know. So when you see those double first names, like I said, Joseph James, Chris Brandon, Dylan Donald, it's like you just already know that they're not legit. So be careful with that. Another thing too, another big tip, and another thing that really gets me upset consistently is people will post and say, I'm in search of figure or list of figures. Anytime you see somebody underneath it that says, PM me, send me a message, I have it, DM me. Most of the time, and probably about 95% of the time, they are a scammer. There is no doubt about it. That is what they are doing. It is clear as day. They're not even posting pictures of the item. They won't post a picture of the price. They won't post a price with the photo. And that's another big thing. When people are posting items, coined photos help because, again, you have the price, you have what it's listed for. It just makes a lot more sense. It kills me when I see people that I know are not scammers and they go, hey, Triple H, ringside exclusive from the Vault Series 1, hit me up if interested. You should just be able to sit there and say, Triple H, ringside exclusive from the Vault Elite Series 1. It's $50. Shipping may vary, or it's this much money shipped anywhere. People drive me nuts when they do that. What is the purpose of consistently trying to tell somebody a different price? I don't understand that. Are you telling people a different price? Are you telling everybody the same price? Because if I'm going to post a figure right now, and I have this Triple H right in front of me, so that's why I keep going back to it, but if I'm going to post that Triple H right now, it is going to say it's this much shipped anywhere in the US, or it's going to be this much, and then shipping is going to vary. I don't understand why it is so difficult. I don't know why people have such a hard time with it. It just doesn't seem to make sense to me. I just put it out there, put the price out there, make it easy for everybody, because there's no reason why people should have to DM you, inbox you, whatever it may be. You need to put the price out there. Everybody should be able to see it. It should not be a secret. So again, that's just me, guys. I know some of my things might be a little quirky. They might be a little bit just kind of, my own personal preferences, but at the end of the day, you really should be able to put a price out there that is for everybody. It shouldn't be a secret. It shouldn't have to be anything like that. And all those DMs and send me a message and all that stuff, a lot of times, I don't know, I feel like it's just leading to a scam. However, there is also other people that comment on posts of items that are for sale that are not even theirs. So like, for example, and I'm just going to, again, use names here, but just for the sake of the argument, Dylan Donald posts an item for sale. And then Steve Smith comments and says, how much? Because there's no price. And then Dylan Donald posted it for sale. Steve Smith wants to know how much it is. And then all of a sudden, here comes Harold Hay. And he goes, DM me. DM you for what? The person selling the thing isn't you, and the person asking isn't you. Like, I don't know. I can't even imagine the people that get caught up in that. And like I said, there are times where I do feel really bad, but I have seen some stories where I don't, because people have no preset time to be able to just say, hey, it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to get the figure either way. If it seems like it's too good to be true, it probably is. So to sit there and be like, oh, I had to jump on it because of the price. But, doesn't it make sense? Doesn't it make sense afterwards? Oh, I can't believe that this happened. Well, let's see. You bought a figure that roughly, let's say, sells for $150 for $70, and you paid Cash App, or you paid PayPal Friends and Family, or you paid Venmo or Zelle. It's just, there's times where, like I say, guys, I feel bad, but you have to kind of know what you're dealing with. You have to know what you're working with. So again, it makes it tough. It makes everybody want to feel like they need to help though, and that's why I hope this video will reach out to more than just the people that are seeing it on YouTube. I'm going to share this to my page. I'm going to share this to a few pages, and I just really hope that it will help people to start paying more attention, and maybe some of the other admins on some of those groups will either take the initiative to start being involved more, or maybe they need to put other people in charge to stay on top of it. Because I mean, on my page, I have a few moderators. I am the only admin, but at the end of the day, I mean, I stay on my page multiple times a day. I mean, I check my Mass Wrestling Collectibles page, early in the morning before I'm heading out to work. I'm checking it even during the day while I'm at work. I check it when I'm home. I'm going to check it again before I go to bed tonight. So, I mean, there's a lot of time that you do have to spend on top of things, because you don't want to see the people who take pride in maybe these groups or these pages that they follow and the stuff that you do. You don't want to see these people disappear and then say, oh, I don't want to be in this group anymore because I don't feel comfortable in it, or I'm worried that somebody's going to, scam me, or the admins don't take it serious, or they don't pay attention. There's a lot of fees. There's a lot of, not fees, but there is a lot of, how do I want to say, there's a lot of things that go into this melting pot. And when you don't have all the bases covered, when you don't have somebody, staying alert for certain things, or to be looking for something, or to have people that will message you. I mean, I got to say a big thank you to the random people that just message me and say, hey, here's a screenshot, though you might want to see this. It's just, it looks a little weird. Maybe you want to check it out. And I will say, probably 8 or 9 times out of 10, they're right. You go onto it, you check it out, and you're like, what's going on here? How did this person even get on the page? And again, at times there are accidents, and I'll be the first person to say that, because you do see some profiles, like I said, that are put together very well, and they do look like they actually could be a real Facebook profile. So with all that, you have some of these people that have also even invested more than you could even imagine. I had somebody, I think it was maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago, and it was a girl that was trying to add herself to the Match Wrestling Collectibles page, and I declined it. And maybe a short time thereafter, maybe a day later, a re-request from the same girl. And I said, that's weird. I'm like, I already declined this, checked it again, same profile. Okay, decline. This time I block it. So I'm like, they can't even try to re-add themselves. Another few days goes by. All of a sudden, the same picture pops up again. The name is the same, but the profile was dated differently from when it was added to Facebook. And then I said to myself, this person probably created half a dozen, maybe a dozen different Facebook profiles over the course of different years, with different cities, states, jobs, whatever it is. Their profiles are all different, but they all have the same photo. So you again say to yourself, well, some of these scammers are extremely lazy. They let you know. Like I said, some profiles look really good, others clear as day that they're not. My favorite ones are when you get a request. I joined Facebook today. My name is Joseph James. I click on your profile picture. It enlarges, and the screenshot of the person that it really is still on the bottom. It says their name with the original amount of likes that were on the photo. It's a good one. Hey, fair game, right? Good shot. Nice try. But again, there are so many things that go involved with, that go into being involved in scammers, and this never-ending revolving door that just keeps going. And as one door continues to close, another one will continue to open, and these scammers will continue to keep making these profiles. So that is where this comes into play. A lot of people will talk about how, eBay, MERCARI, some people hate eBay, some people hate MERCARI, some people hate them both, some people love them both. But I will say this, if you want the most trusted, most, applicable place to buy something and know that you're safe and that you have, buyer's protection, definitely go through eBay, definitely go through MERCARI. I am on MERCARI solely, and a lot of people have been talking negative about MERCARI lately, and this is just me going out on a limb here to say, you know, how I feel about the situation, but a lot of people have been, for lack of a better term, they've been crying, and they've really been letting you know, they've been shedding those tears. Kleenex is making a killing right now, as they continue to cry about the fact that, oh, boo-hoo, MERCARI changed everything, and the seller doesn't pay anything anymore, and the buyer has to pay all the fees. Yeah, and you know what? As a seller, I will tell you right now, it makes a lot more sense. It really does. Because at the end of the day, it makes more sense for me to sell you an item that I want to sell you for $10 than it does for me to sell it to you for $15 or $18 to make $10 when it's all said and done. So if you're going to tell me that you don't see the difference, or you don't see where it just comes together, it makes no difference. If I'm charging you 20, again, just throwing the numbers out here. If I'm charging you 20 to make 10, and then MERCARI says, hey, instead we're going to charge the buyer the fees, so now you can just charge the $10, it doesn't make any difference. You're going to pay the same thing either way. Anybody who's selling that has to make X amount of money, if they implement the fees on the seller, you're going to pay the extra tax on top of whatever it is. If they implement the fees on the buyer, the price of the item is going to come down, and the total is still going to be what you would have paid with it had it been inflated to, you know, compromise on what is going to be paid out to the seller. And I don't have any, you know, remorse. I don't have any regret in saying that, because at the end of the day, we do a lot more than I think people really understand. And granted, I'm not saying that everybody is operating the same way that I do, and I have been doing this a very long time, and I do take pride in what we do here at, you know, Matt's Wrestling Collectibles, and these videos and putting, you know, items packaged, going out to places. I want to make sure that they get there the way that they're supposed to. Of course, the post office can be a nightmare at times, so, you know, there is always that chance that an item goes out in perfect condition, it gets, you know, mangled somewhere, and unfortunately it arrives to wherever it's going in that terrible condition, and it's not by choice of me. Of course, thankfully for that, the post office has insurance, the person who bought the item has insurance, everything gets figured out some way, somehow. Everybody should be able to, you know, be happy and get back to where they need to be. But with that being said, I bring this to you because it is just, it's the truth. When it comes down to the selling aspect, and a lot of people just don't get it, it's like, you're buying these items, you're looking them up, especially when you have to really price out a lot of them. I mean, of course, if I buy, you know, let's just say right now somebody comes to me and I buy 100 Mattel basic figures, they're all loose. I'm going to be able to go through them and put a stack aside that's going to be, hey, I have to look these figures up, and all of these I already know I can price at $5, $7, $8, $10, whatever it's going to be, right? So when people don't really see that, it's like, okay, so now you've got 100 figures in front of you, and again, I'm just throwing these numbers out there, guys. So, you know, you just, again, all in an example. You have 100 basics in front of you. You know, you make a pile now. Let's just say you get 20 figures out of 100 that you need to look up. So now I have to look up 20 figures. I got to price them all out. After that, I got to get out the wipes. I'm going to wipe all these figures down. I'm going to try to get as many marks off them as I can, if there is marks or whatever might be on them, you know, trying to make them as clean and as nice as possible. So now those are all wiped down. Now you got to let them sit out, make sure those all get nice and dry so there's no film on them. You're not leaving any, you know, like Clorox film on them or nothing like that. So now you got to make sure those all get dry. Now, as most of you already know, where the AEW belt is up there in the shelf corner, that is also my, like, photo box. That's where I take the photos of all the stuff that I post for sale on MERCARI. So now you got to take photos of all that stuff one by one, multiple photos of items, especially when they're boxed items, because now you're doing a front, a close-up, side, back, top, bottom, you know, whatever it may be. There's a lot that goes into it. So even with 100 wrestling figures, you know, just think about this. If I have 100 basics, that's 200 photos. There's a photo of every single one of them from the front and from the back. So there's 200 photos right there. Now after that, we've got 200 photos. We've got 100 individual listings. Every single item has to be listed to MERCARI one by one. Now I have a more than just a 9 to 5. You know what I mean? I don't know what you guys do out there. I know I've told you guys before. I have mentioned before, but I do drive tractor trailer as my everyday job. So, you know, doing this is something that I love, and that's why I continue to do it as a you know, an after work thing, even though it is an all day thing, as I stay on top of this stuff all day, trying to find figures, new stuff, new inventory, items for the collection, you know, anything under the sun. But The problem with that is now you've done all that stuff, you've listed these items, now you're dealing with multiple people going back and forth, you're getting offers, bundle offers, people want X, Y, and Z. There is a lot that goes with it. So when these people are saying, hey, this is crazy, I can't believe we're dealing with this, there's no reason why we should have to pay this, we shouldn't have to pay any extra fees, we shouldn't have to do any of this. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, for what it is worth and for what a seller has to actually do, if, you're doing something at the same level as myself, if you're doing something to where you're taking pride in it, you are going to take a lot of your personal time in doing this stuff. So the time has to be paid for. The item has to be paid for. There's a lot of stuff that goes with it. So, guys, like I would say to somebody, it's all just as bad no matter where you go, no matter how it is. If the fees are being paid by the buyer on MERCARI, you go to eBay, and here's a perfect story for all of you. Quite some time ago, I sold a Giant Gonzalez Classic Superstars Series 16, inbox, sealed, and sold it total with shipping. It came out to like $130 something. Sold this on eBay. My payout after eBay paid me and took all their fees was about $90. It was literally just under $90. Now, mind you, this was maybe almost 2 years ago, but it's just crazy, guys. I mean, I paid I think I paid almost $70 for the figure. I probably paid like in the 60s for it shipped. So, I'm thinking, all right, well, selling the figure for 120 or 125 plus shipping, and to make what? You know what I mean? What did I make off of it? If $20, I mean, it's just crazy. So, again, to the aspect of, I understand it's expensive for somebody to buy, but if you're collecting, that's what you're in this game. And I'll be the first person to say, I have found ultimates, like when the Brock Lesnar and Rob Van Dam series was going crazy. I found both of those at Walmart, paid retail for both of them. However, I've got a very nice Eddie Guerrero Ultimate up there, as much as some people may hate that figure, and I don't know why. I know everybody says, the torso, this, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I think the figure looks fine. I mean, granted, it's a little bit muscular. It's a little bit overjacked, but I do love the figure. And I paid, I don't even know, probably like 70 or $75 for that figure, and it retailed for what, $33? But that's the thing. If you're never going to find it somewhere, if there's nowhere you are going to find something for retail, you are going to have to pay the aftermarket of it. And if you're not willing to take those good with the bad, you can't just be upset because something is being done the way that it should have been done from day one. I think every single online site that is third party, it should all be that simple. Any fees that site charges, eBay, MERCARI, Etsy, anywhere, it should be charged to the person buying the item. You're purchasing the item, you want it, I have it. I don't need it, because if I needed it, I'd keep it. And again, guys, I know we're always in these videos, and obviously a lot of you guys already know I'm always happy, I'm always very smiley, I'm very, always very happy to be doing these videos, and I don't want to come off right now as, rude, mean, or anything like that. It's not sour grapes. It's just that, I really believe that a lot of people don't see what goes into some of it. I can go on anybody's page that's a seller, and I can tell you how much pride they take in what they do. It is not hard. It is not hard. And I'm not saying everybody has the same resources or the same tools. That is not the case, and I get that. But let's just say you don't have a shelf like that or something. It is literally less than $5 to go out and buy 4 or 5 pieces of white, whatever you want to call it. We used to do them all the time back in school. The display boards, you know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about. The triple prong, whatever they call them. They open display boards, whatever they're called. And you can get something like that. You can get, just regular white, like construction paper, and you could make a box out of it to take photos with figures. If you're taking pictures of figures on a dirty bed or a dirty mattress, or you got dirty clothes all over the place, people take photos like this down, they got no shoes or socks on, their feet are sticking out, they got toenails that ain't been cut in 2 years. People are gonna not want to buy from certain people, or they're gonna think they can get something out of somebody. Like An example, the guy who's got the downward facing picture with his toes out, toenails ain't been cut in 2 years, and the item sitting on his dirty bed, yeah, he'll probably take less money than me for the same item, because what does it matter to him? He is not doing this to try to build anything from it. They're only doing it because it's like, hey, I know this is worth something, so I bought it so I could sell it and make some money. I don't know. Again, guys, I could go on about this all day, but I am not going to, because as we are about to wrap up this video, I think we can wrap it up with this. Today's big lesson is stay vigilant and make sure you do your homework on these people online. There are a lot of people out there that are trying to take your money. They don't have the items that they claim they do, and they certainly are not trying to help you build your collection. They do not care about being a solid member of the community, and that is for sure. Also, another thing that I do want to wrap this up with, and I will end it at this. If you are the type of person who likes to price bash, if you're the type of person that likes to laugh and react people's posts and comment, dumb things in my opinion, which is, for example, hey guys, I've got this figure here, it's $100 shipped. If you're the type of person that comments on it and says, oh, I'll do 90 shipped, I'll sell mine for 90 shipped, you are just poison to this whole entire community. There is no need for it. Let people sink or swim on their own. They don't need any help. They don't need you on there bashing their price or saying whatever. The world knows what something is worth. The world knows where they can find it or where they can't find it. And if they can or cannot, that is on them, and that is their choice. I do not bash people for prices. I do not do anything like that. And if anything at all, there are times where I will let somebody know, hey, maybe you should check this. Prime example, I'll leave it at this and I will end on this. A guy last week was selling a Gold Dust Elite. I don't know what series it is. Elite 47B, I think, or something like that. I have it up on the wall there. But it's the Gold Dust. Very old school, very Attitude Era. He's in the very shiny gold suit. He's got the shiny gold robe with the the feathers and the fur around it, and it comes with the wig. The guy was posting it for sale. He had it posted for $100. It didn't say OBO, I don't think. It just said $100. And the robe was on Gold Dust in the package. So all I did was comment. I said, hey, just might want to check, what these are going for, because I said, I obviously, it's been open. So to sell it for $100 seems a little off. Granted, I bought mine quite some time ago. I think I paid like $55 or $60 for mine, somewhere around there. This was, again, 2-3 years ago. But, to be double that essentially and be opened, I just figured, hey, before a crowd of people come in here saying a bunch of nasty, mean and rude things, maybe do your research, double check, hopefully it works out for you. And the guy took the advice, I think as helping and helpful, and took care of it. So that's always great. I'm always happy to see somebody take good advice and also be able to realize that I'm not bashing them. I'm not telling them to change their price. I'm just saying to check out what you're selling, do your research, So with that, guys, I do appreciate you all joining me yet again for another episode of Matt's Wrestling Collectibles Casual Conversation. I hope this one was extra casual for you as we were talking about all these scammers and all this stuff that's going on in the community. So stay vigilant, stay out there, and make sure that if you see something, you do say something. If you guys have not already, get over to Facebook. Make sure you are liking the Matt's Wrestling Collectibles business page. Follow that one as well. And make sure you are joining and adding yourself to the Matt's Wrestling Collectibles group page. Like I said, that's where you can interact with all the other collectors in the community. You can buy, sell, trade, share your collection, ask questions, all of the above. And as always, guys, if you haven't already, please hit the like button on this video, and also get over to the channel, hit that subscribe button. I appreciate that tremendously. We are going to be doing a ton more on this channel. Like I said, we're going to be getting back to these casual conversations, new figure pickups. We're going to be doing figures that we're going to start opening and reviewing. I think it might be time to start letting some of these figures breathe, as I did have some intentions to do so after we moved. I had some big plans to do some new stuff for the channel, so it looks like we're going to have to do it right here where we always can be. And as you already know, that is Matt's Wrestling Collectibles right here on YouTube. And guys, for the end of the video question that I have for you, it's a very simple one. Have you ever dealt with a scammer? And what is your story? Have you been on the bad side of it? Have you unfortunately gotten scammed by somebody? If you want to disclose how much, that is up to you. If you'd like to tell us what the items were, that is up to you as well. And also, too, like I said, if you haven't gotten scammed, but you have been in the middle of a scamming situation, and obviously you already know exactly how these people are, but you want to share those stories as well, and feel free to also share maybe a little bit of information on who these people were and possibly what platform you were on, because it is always nice to spread the awareness, and it's always nice to let other people know to be on the lookout for certain individuals. So, with that, guys, I appreciate all of you joining me again for Matt's Wrestling Collectibles Casual Conversation, and I will see you all in the next video. Until then, stay tuned and stay safe.